Well, welcome to another edition of Getting to Know the Board, Conversations with the President. It's really my great pleasure to introduce Colleen McIlvennan to you, one of our board members and a longstanding member of the Heart Failure Society of America. So welcome, Colleen.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Fang.
Well, it's great to have you here. Well, we really want to use this forum so our membership can get to know us. And, I want to start off by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself professionally, where you are, what you do, how'd you get there?
Yeah, so I have been a nurse practitioner for 14 years. I joined faculty at the University of Colorado in the section of advanced heart failure and transplant back in 2010, and have been working clinically as a nurse practitioner inpatient primarily in advanced heart failure transplant and mechanical circulatory support. But a couple years into my clinical activities, I really became interested in research. And so I went back to school and obtained my PhD, and now split my time about half clinically and half conducting research with the Colorado Program for Patient-Centered Decisions.
And what sparked your interest in research? I mean, you obviously love the clinical care.
Yeah, I think it was really our interactions with patients and seeing that there was a need for better education, better understanding how patients and caregivers make decisions, and how we as clinicians can better communicate risks, benefits, burdens, prognosis to patients and caregivers who are considering therapies such as mechanical support or heart transplant.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how little we know about how that process actually evolves? Everybody's got their own style, but it's not been well studied. So I applaud you for pursuing that line of investigation. Well, it segues into my next question is, what is it about our discipline? What is it about heart failure? Why aren't you doing this work in the cath lab, for example? Or should I have a TAVR, I mean, or an AFib
Yeah.
ablation? Why heart failure?
Excuse me. That is a great question. It actually takes me back even further to when I was deciding my undergraduate degree. My dad had a heart attack when I was 18, and I was deciding between being a teacher or a nurse. And I spent some time with him in the hospital, and I immediately was made the decision I want to be a nurse. And so I chose that route and did most of my clinical rotations in cardiology. And my dad subsequently developed heart failure after his MI. And so I had this interest, and my first job that I applied to was in advanced heart failure and transplant, and here I am. So I have a personal connection. I was probably very overbearing to my father as a heart failure patient, especially as new therapies came out. And he unfortunately passed away about 2 years ago, but I continue to feel really connected to this field, and I've lived it as a caregiver, as the daughter of a patient with heart failure. So I can't imagine being anywhere else.
It is amazing what we can do for patients too, right? We can just make them feel so much better.
And improve quality of life, which is really, really, I think our goal is survival, but also how can we improve how they're living their lives.
Right, right. Well, so the natural extension of that question is, what is it about our society that has been so compelling for you? You've been a member for many years, done a lot of different things with our society. Why have you been so committed to it?
So I got involved through mentors who encouraged me. So Dr. Joanne Lindenfeld, who is a pioneer in the heart failure and transplant space, really encouraged me to be involved as a young faculty member. And I learned so much about the society, even in that first year. I served on a committee, And what has really drawn me to HFSA as my home is the multidisciplinary component. HFSA really strives to incorporate the entire care team, um, from committee work to involvement in the annual meeting, volunteers. And I have met lifelong friends, lifelong collaborators, colleagues through the Heart Failure Society. And I I think it is one of the societies that really walks the walk when you say we want all members of the care team to come together to help better the care of patients with heart failure.
So you really feel that it is your professional home?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
would, HFSA is undoubtedly the place that I would say I would like to volunteer my time the most, and see others become involved.
Yeah, obviously you have a day job, so that's, I'm sure, another professional home. But as a heart failure expert, I can see why, you've really been drawn to the society. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of, you live in a great city, right? Denver. You
Denver,
live in
Colorado.
you live in the Intermountain West, as you know. I'm a bit partial to this part of the country.
You're one of the
Uh,
few that's in the same time zone
yeah,
as me.
exactly. The mountain time zone is always a little
Yes,
tricky, isn't it, for people?
yes.
But what do you like to do when you're not doing research or patient care or working on behalf of the society?
Well, I have two young boys. Henry is 7 and Jack is 3. So they keep me very busy outside of my day job. So I'm usually school activities or sporting activities with them. I'm originally from Wisconsin, so I love
Uh,
to talk Midwest with anybody that's willing to talk with me. And I travel back there quite a bit because most of my family is still there. And there is a direct flight from Denver to Appleton, Wisconsin once a day. And it
Really?
is, yes, small town Appleton, Wisconsin. So it makes it easy to travel back and forth. But yes, the most of my time I really enjoy being with my family. We love being outdoors. But I would also say my husband and I think our favorite thing is to go out and have a great meal at a restaurant.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Are you a beer drinker?
I am not. I don't like brats. I don't like beer, but I love wine and cheese.
Somebody from Wisconsin that doesn't like
Yes,
beer and cheese.
I'll own the cheese, but not the beer.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, my last question, in these, past 7 or 8 minutes, what is your favorite movie?
Uh, so that's a hard one. I have to say, I don't watch movies. I never have. I prefer shorter shorter time periods than sitting down and watching a movie. And I actually think I married the only other person in the world that doesn't really like to watch movies, my husband. So I would say
Well,
when I've
TV
been
show then.
asked
How about how
before, I
about how
know
about how about TV show?
any TV show that will capture my children's interest for more than about 10 minutes is my favorite.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Is there not a movie that you can park the kids in front of and get at least 20 minutes out of them? The Lion King?
Surprisingly, yes. I was gonna say, Home Alone is actually a pretty popular
Oh,
movie in
sure.
our household, and I grew up loving that movie also.
Yeah.
It was the first DVD I remember that, or VHS that my dad brought home
Yeah.
was Home Alone.
Well, you see, you do have a favorite movie. And that is
If
a
I
good
had
one,
to
by the way.
choose, yes.
That is a good one. They did make Home Alone 2.
Yeah, yes,
It was that good.
that's
So
true.
yeah. Well, Colleen, this has been fantastic. Thank you for spending just a few minutes with me. Um, I'm hoping our membership is going to really enjoy getting to know you through this little video. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.